Hello. Lindsay to you too, my brother. My name is Alfie Hudson. I'm a Gunakurni man, a very proud Gunakurni man. Before we get started, it's a privilege to be here at GLaWAC. I'd just like to show my respects to the past and present, to our elders and emerging. What an honour to be here and to be on Gunakurni land. Just by saying the welcome and that, I think it's very important also to do smoking, and what a place to do it out here in between the bush and the lake system, and also on the land we gathered here today. I'll just go through a little bit of smoking with you, and I'll tell you a little bit of story about myself, and maybe I'll chuck in a Dreamtime story as well. We'll see how we go with that. I think a Dreamtime story will top it right off, a local one. So welcome, enjoy what we've got here, and also enjoy the day. Relax and just do what you're doing, and just get into it. So I'll start off with the cherry tree. The cherry trees, me growing up, and my very first smoking was with the cherry tree. So cherry tree, cherry ballard, it grows a nice little cherry on it. So to me, I call this the lolly tree, you know. So it was one of my first, growing up with the elders, and that, and the elders teaching me about respect and story and dance and stuff like that. This was one of my first smoking trees. There's all different smoking for different reasons, but this one was for the children. So I'm going to start with the children. I think the children are our future. So I might get one of the young ones to come up. Don't be shy, I might bite one of them. Just to come up and just put this one on here. Anyone?
Maybe if you go with
Maybe if you come with her. It's going to be so powerful, so strong. So all I need, one of the kids to put this on, and then I'll talk about. Yep. So if you just put him on there. This one. Thank you very much. So with the children is our future. The next one is. Look, I should have mentioned the women straight up first. I'm going to go to the women, and the women I represent, and the second one with the women looked after. They were the law. We have to protect the women. The women are everything to everyone, I suppose, and they are very strong. And the women always, with the Gunakurni people, were the ones that made decisions, the law and everything else, and the men had to act it. So listen to you women, eh? So this one here, the women also went out in seasonal times, and when these were fruit, we call it the fruit, when the flower's out, they'll yellow. So the women used to go out and collect off the wattle. So this is a wattle. This is a black wood. We also got the white wood. I'll get to that one in a minute. So the women are very important. A woman. Come on, you will run it. Oh, both of you if you like. It doesn't matter. It's all good. So the women went out and collected the seed. They made sure, thank you, everyone was safe around the camp. And when this wattles, it goes yellow, it blooms. After it blooms, there's a seed. The seed was grounded for breads and stuff. That's a little bit. I'll just give you a little bit. Today I'll go forever. So this one's for the women. If you feel like women need to put some on there, you can, okay? And the children as well. We're going to the men now. So the men were hunters and gatherers as well. And the men had to supply foods and hunt and fire and all that for the kids and the women. So this one here I picked today is also a wattle, and I believe it's a white wattle, and this one's a very important one because this one's where we got our weapons from. our killer boomerangs and stuff like that. We also use the stringy bark trees and stuff for shelters and all different things. So I'll just get one of the lads, big tall fellas down there, and this fella right here, look at him, he wants to come out of here. Come out of here too, brother. No, so just representing the men, we'll start off by putting that on there for the men. Thanks, mate. Now we're going to the elders, our mob, our strength. The biggest trees, the big gum trees, what give us shelter, medicine, knowledge, the whole lot. Oh, there's a lot that goes with just a tree, as you notice. This one's about knowledge and our respect to the past. Without these big trees, imagine if this tree could talk, it will actually tell you a lot of stories. And a lot of our stuff happened around trees. And so the gum tree is strength. So when I put this on, I know I'll be thinking of the elders, past and present, and also everyone what's here. And it's acknowledging a whole lot of that. So that's why the gum tree is very important as well. Now I'd like you to come up a bit closer because I'm going to get a few women and a few men, a few elders to come right up, and a couple of kids to come up. So this one's for the kids, this one's for the women. So be free to Come up here, mate. I'm grey too, but you know what? It's wisdom. Okay, it's wisdom. Without your grey hair,
it's good luck.
It's good luck too. So be free to put this down. We'll probably when we lay it down, you'd probably want to think about your elders, your kids, your mothers, your daughters, whatever, and I'll give you about a minute to take some of this smoke in, and we'll probably be very quiet so everyone can get their thoughts together. Then after that, what you see is the white smoke. White smoke is very, very important to the Gunakurni people. So if you've got the white smoke and it's following you, it's virtually a blessing, and it's also strength, and it's protection. It's a whole heap of different stuff. After the smoke, all our thoughts, all our whatever you might be thinking, I think out loud. Sometimes I get in trouble, but I'm not going to think out loud today. But when I do me smoking, I think of me elders, the ones that have passed, me kids, and after the smoke's gone, that's when the ceremony is finished. So if you feel like you need to be in the smoke and you want to give out a message to someone past or present, this is the way to do it in spirit. So I want to say thank you for asking me to be here, and I want to finish with that. Okay, so joy.
Thanks, Alfie.
thoughts are going, and we're watching this fire burn. I'll tell you a little Dreamtime story. I can't be quite that long. This Dreamtime story was told to me through one of my elders. One ain't with us today. Well, he's always with us. I shouldn't say that. He's always with us. Uncle Alfie Hudson. He was one of my teachers and taught me dance, story, showed me a lot of sights and stuff. So I was very privileged to be around him while he was with us. I believe he still looks over us all, and he'd be very proud of everyone being here today as well. This story's a story about a young fella, someone like me. I was really young, about 10, 12 years old. Wanted to be a man before my time. This young fella, he was a Gunakurni young boy, and a lot of tribes travelled from different areas, and they all came down to East Gippsland, to a place called Eagle Point. So Eagle Point's based, I'm not sure if everyone knows where Eagle Point is. If you don't know where Eagle Point is, you follow the Mitchell River down towards Painesville, and the Eagle Point's, you'll see it's like a big bluff, there's a cliff face, and it looks over our rivers and Bairnsdale itself. So this young fella was down in there, Eagle Point, down near the Mitchell River, and a lot of the elders and that, they'll seasonal time for our fruit picking and the fishing and collecting our foods, and it was a nice sheltered area, and all the women set up camp, and the men and some of the elders went up on top of this hill to watch other tribes and that coming in, and they were going to have a big trading day and a smoking and a celebration and foods and all this stuff. So what happened was this young fella got told to stay at camp, and all the elders went up top, and they were sorting out their boomerangs and their rocks and all this, so the other tribes could trade and give gifts and stuff like that. But this young fella thought he was real deadly. He started creeping up, started getting dark, and he started creeping up on top of this hill. And all the other kids were swimming, and the women were making baskets and stuff. And this young fella kept going up this hill, and he got up there and he was wondering what the elders were doing, sitting around a fire and this and that, and he's seen a couple of spears. And on his travels there was an emu, and the emu was like walking, sussing this kid out. And he's like, oh. So this kid went up and grabbed his spear, and he grabbed a couple of boomerangs, and he ran back down and he chased this emu along the Mitchell River. And what he did, he threw the boomerang, and it missed, and the boomerang went into the river. Because he was young, he didn't have experience, and he grabbed the spear, and when he threw that spear, it went into the river. And the emu's like, I'm too fast for you, mate. It's all good. So the emu wandered off, and the young fellow was, at this time, was reaching down towards the spear, and he slipped in the river, and his foot got stuck. And East Gippsland, especially the Mitchell River, it floods overnight. All our waters come from the mountains down into here. So it was getting on dark, it was raining, he was yelling out for help, and no one could hear him. The only person or animal, I should say animal, or spirit animal, was the emu what heard him. So this emu was the mother, and she had a few eggs, but the father, the male, was looking after them eggs. So she seen this young fella in stress, and the water was rising, it was this and that. So the emu put out its neck. She knew her kids were safe, and when she put her neck down into that river, the young boy climbed out. So she saved this young boy, but while he was climbing up, she fell in and she drowned. So the young fellow was like, oh, I've done something really bad here. I was trying to kill this emu, and now she's sacrificed her own life for me. So she ran, this young fella ran up to the elders on top of the hill and said, I've done something wrong. I should have listened. And the elders said, sit down, young fella, it's okay. And while they were talking, and while he was telling his story, the spirits of the emu went up and performed the Southern Cross. Now the Southern Cross will shape different shapes. Just on winter, the Southern Cross will be on its, when we say upright, it's upright like this, but it'll be the other way around. For me, that's upright. And that's when, and the Southern Cross, if you have a real good look at it, right now, it's kind of on its side. That's the shape of the emu. Then its next goes up to the Milky Way. The Milky Way represents the river. So when I look at that, the Southern Cross, it makes me think about the women what sacrificed their lives and all these other things where you might want to take this story to. And so this young fella growing up, he was a protector of his women and also the families, and his totem was the emu, so he wasn't allowed to kill emus, he had to look after them. And when I go down to that place now, down at Eagle Point, there's it spins me out. There's an emu there. There's one emu there, always. And it runs up and down this paddock. And I always think of this young kid and the emus. Yeah, it's just weird how things happen. But that's a little story from that area. And it's a very sad story, but also a very powerful one. So the stars tell stories as well. I'll keep on going. So that's just all. I thought I'll share that with you because, yeah, it's just because we've got some kids here and that and some parents and whatever. Enjoy your day and thank you again. Cheers.
Thanks.